calling Kitty. Here's Kitty.
Oh, hiya. How are we doing, gang? Oh, you're looking gorgeous. You're sounding... Oh, thank you. Oh, God, I've got a wolf whistle there. Did you hear that? Gorgeous. How are we doing, gang? Are we all right? Oh, you look gorgeous today. You smell gorgeous as well. What are you wearing? Is that just your natural musk? Bloody hell, aren't you lucky? God, listen, I'm recording this in the heat. It's literally the only 3 days of heat in the UK in 2024. And everybody is just going full. It's like the Caribbean, all right? Everybody's out. Everybody's got the shorts on. Everyone's got the flip-flops on. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, wherever you're listening to this, maybe you're in Alaska. I've got a lot of listeners, okay, in both poles, south and north. So whatever extremities you're dealing with, whatever climates you're dealing with, I hope you're well, treasures. It's Kitty. It's Kitty Cassis, like the dark, sweet, viscous, slightly sickly liqueur. Only tolerable in very small doses. How are you doing? Oh, listen, I've been busy again this week, and I've got to apologise because, like I said, I've got somebody. Well, I know exactly who it is. It's Bob. He's trimming me bush at the moment. He's out there trimming all the hedges, and you might hear some expletives, which you never get on this podcast, but you also might hear some politically incorrect banter going on just outside my window. I'm in our Dave's shed, as always. You listen, this is an audio podcast, but it's got a visual element. So if you want to see me in my natural habitat, and I'm sipping my beverage. What have I got? I've got a Stanley Cup. You've heard of the Stanley Cup. This is the Brian Cup. It's got a slightly different insulation level. I've not got... The patent is pending. All right, gang. That's all I'll say. Patent is pending on that. But I've got a bit of tequila in that today because I just find it keeps me quite hydrated. Keep hydrated wherever you are out there. And what I like to do, the best thing about the Brian Cup is you just can't see what's in there. So, depending on your audience, you might want to say, yeah, I've got water or I've got a cordial. But obviously, when we're amongst friends, when we're in a safe space, you can tell them exactly what lies within. And I've got tequila. I've got a shot of Tabasco sauce in there because, I'm never far away from a little bit of zing and a little bit of a kick. So whatever you're drinking, keep hydrated. What have you been up to, gang, eh? What have you been up to? Tell me, let me know. I always say this, don't I? It's Calling Kitty. It's an audio podcast. It's got a visual element. Check out the link on YouTube if you want to see me scrambling around at the bottom of a barrel for something to say. I mean, listen, I look gorgeous while I'm doing it. That's all I'm going to say. I've just gone for quite a natural look today, soft contouring, a nude palette. I'm going for the English rose vibe. And if you're into ASMR, you can hear me rings clacking. You can hear all my jewelry clacking. And some of you do just tune in for that, let's be fair. Go and watch on the YouTube link. Do all that. So Calling Kitty, it's a podcast. And, this one goes out today to anybody who is chaffing at the thigh. Bloody hell. It's hard work, isn't it? It's hard work if you're trying to just keep... I mean, I find I take a little bit of baby powder and a little bit of Viagra and I crush it up and I rub that in, and believe me, it goes in. It goes in. It actually soaks into your epidermis. All right. And it, listen, if you want to be smooth but also a little bit horny, that's the best way to get around it. Okay. What have you all been up to, gang? I've been busy this week again. Oh my God. I've been on a course this week. A course. How many of you have been on courses recently? You probably get made to go on courses at work, don't you? But I volunteered. I went on an upholstery course. Oh my God, I've learned so much. We've been upcycling various pieces of furniture with staple guns, pliers, and polyfiller. Let's face it, they are the tools of my trade. I don't really go anywhere without a couple of hammers and a couple of chisels in my handbag. All right, I've got my vanity case with the little wheels on bottom, and I carry everything around in there. Whether it's a muslin cloth or a plug-in defibrillator. I carry it all in there. But I started this course on Monday, and I got a battered old love seat. And 3 days later, voila, I've got this gorgeous Jacobean print fabric. It's a heavy weave with a double heft lining, and it is stretched so tight over this love seat. I mean, this chair is almost wiped clean now. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what it needs to be. And there's so many characters that I've met on I mean, a lot of them I know because obviously I live locally and I'm a bit of a celebrity, in my local environs, as you can imagine. So Keith was there. Now Keith runs the fish shop, and he brought in a couple of his actual counters. He wanted the actual counter that he cuts the fish up on and displays it on. He wanted it upcycled, jazzed up, bejazzled. So he's just done that out in Swarovski crystals. So, you can go from quite a basic upholstery right through to, a proper upgrade of your furniture. And it's, a lot of people said to me, what are you going on an upholstery course for, Kitty? Well, it's a good question. There is method in my madness. Okay. I've got Jane McDonald in next week. She called me up. She said, Kitty, she said, I want to look like a young Cat Deeley. I thought, Christ, I've got my work cut out for me here, aren't I? I mean, talk about jowls. She makes a basset hound look like Kate Moss in the 90s. Do you know what I mean, treasures? So, rather than going in for a conventional cosmetic surgery training, which, I mean, I've done all that. Do you know what I mean? Once you've been on one, you've been on them all. Health and safety, consent, blah, blah, blah. I want to get my hands dirty, and I really find it's much more realistic to be dealing with, realistic kind of materials. And when you've got clients that are kind of, the vintage that I've got, you really want to be training on a like-minded kind of material. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, I'm doing. I've got a upholstery course. I've actually got a mechanics course booked in. I mean, I can bang the side out of a door for you. If you've crashed that Nissan Micra that I've got, I travel up and down the country with it, going from place to place, and it's looking brand spanking new now because I've also got my little paint sprayer. Well, that comes in handy. Even if I do a spray tan with that. You might have a little bit of enamel paint in the bottom, but it's fine. Do you know what I mean? A lot of these things, you don't need to have specifics. You don't need to have all of the specific equipment. All right. You can just improvise. That's what I always say. Do you know what I mean? Some of you might think to yourself, well, no, there's no way that I could take up doing beauty at home, DIY style. Of course you can. We've all got that drawer in the kitchen that's just full of crap. Get that out. Actually bottom it out. Really get it all out and see what you've got there. Do you know what I mean? You'll have a couple of screwdrivers. You'll have a couple of pairs of tweezers, probably an old pair of scissors. You can do that. I mean, I did Linda Lusardi's labia trim with the bacon scissors, all right, back in the late 90s. And she's never complained. I've never seen her since. So, I presume that all went fine. Do you know what I mean? Also, if you're feeling a bit, obviously the sun is coming out now as I'm recording this, no matter where you are, you might be feeling like you feel a bit pasty, a bit washed out, and maybe you want a bit of a glow up. All right. So there's loads of things that you can do. I mean, what I do, if you go in that cupboard under the sink, get all of that, get all your detergents out, get everything out. Also, your toolbox. You must have a toolbox. I mean, you seem like the sort of people that would have a well-packed toolbox. I get that out as well. And I mean, one little tip I'll give you, I'll take the dishwasher salts and just mix in a little bit of Lurpak. I find it is quite a good thing. And I just grind that up with a pestle and mortar. And I get a little bit of sandpaper. Normally it's the 25 mil that I go for. And I just do an exfoliation. And I get the dishwasher salts and I rub those over. And I just take off that top layer of skin, really just to exfoliate and prepare the skin. And then what you need to be doing is collecting all of your tea bags. All right. So when you are actually making a cup of tea, maybe even making a cup of coffee, collect all the remnants of the tea bags, empty the contents of each PG Tips bag or Yorkshire tea or whatever it is that you use if you're a pervert, Tetley. And you just collect that, all of the inner, for about 6 months. All right. And then mix that with a little bit of sesame oil. Obviously, I've always got Spam. Wherever I go, I've got Spam. So I mash that in a little bit and I'll layer that over the prepared skin and I'll leave that on for about 3 days. All right. I'm going a bit slowly. I'm talking slowly here because a lot of you will have grabbed the pen and paper at this point and you'll be thinking, hang on, you can pause this podcast. Make sure you've got all the ingredients that you need. Slather that. Obviously you can spend money on Saint Tropez spray tans. You don't need to cock. All right, you've got everything you need there at your disposal. Go through your larder. Do you know what I mean? Balsamic vinegar, a little bit of, whatever you've got. Tabasco, that also comes in handy. It gives you a nice zing. Worcestershire sauce, I find that always works really well. Bit of HP sauce if you want. Mix that all in, slather that on. Like I say, leave that on for a couple of days, depending on what kind of deep tan that you do want. And then I would go and wash that off then. And you just find that you've got that. You step out of that bathroom and you'll go out onto the street. You might see somebody that you know and they'll say, bloody hell, have you just come back from Torremolinos? And you can say, no, I went on ihearitsmekitty.com and picked up picked up these tidbits. Do you know what I mean? Do it DIY. That's what I say. Now, they might, if they get too close to you, they might just say that you smell a bit gamey. I can't do much about that. All right. Just blame it on the drains. That's what I normally do. Okay. Or you've got your own natural musk, which we established in the first few minutes of this episode. You're all humming, but humming in the best possible way. That's what I like. You don't want everything to be too clean, do you? You don't want everything to be too sanitized because then you just don't get your personality pouring through your pores. Do you know what I mean? We want people to get who we are from our scent straight away. And you can smell me before you see me walking down the streets. You can imagine it, can't you? So that's your little tidbit for today. If you've got any tips, any tricks, I'm always open. I'm open to collaborate. This is a community that we're building here, isn't it? And if you've got any, money saving tips or time saving tips or anything that's just going to make us all feel a bit better, write into me. You can get me on all the platforms. It's Hiya It's Me Kitty, HIYAITSMEKITTY. And you can get in touch with me and let me know what you've been up to. Let me know if you've got any dilemmas. Let me know if you've got any advice that you want to give to all 17 of our listeners. I think they would love that. Let me have a quick swig. So yeah, whatever it is that you're doing, share your talents. That's another thing that I say. Share your talents out. That's I'll be doing that. Like I say, I'm going on tour. I'm doing most of the working men's clubs in the Northwest. And I'll be doing that on my way up to Edinburgh. Did I tell you that I'm heading up to Edinburgh? I'm heading up to Edinburgh with my alternative therapy show. And that's when I'll be spilling the beans on lots of stuff that I've been up to. I mean, over the decades, I've worked with everyone. We know this. We've been through this. And I'm about to, a lot of the gagging orders that I had to sign, they all are due to expire. All right. And that is when I'm going to be bursting out with these, potentially exposing exposés. Some of them are no longer with us, but a lot of them are. Do you know what I mean? And I'm perfectly within my rights to tell the stories as they happened from within the room. All right. So listen out for that. That show is called Sitting Pretty with Kitty. And if you go to my website, yes, I've got a domain name. I've got a domain. I've got hashtags. I've got an SEO. I mean, my nephew Giles. We knew he wanted to be a tech geek from the age of 7. He was asking for placebo t-shirts. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's working on a greasy little ponytail, and so he is going to be probably the next Bill Gates. Let's face it. But he's been helping me with my website. He said, "Auntie Kitty, you need to get your SEO sorted out." I thought, what the bloody hell is he talking about now? All these acronyms, I can't deal with it. But he's trying to get me. He's trying to get my website up there. So go to my website, go to my Facebook page, go to my Twitter page, go to my MySpace page. I've still got that open. I'm the only bugger on there, I tell you. Give it a like, give it a share, spread the word, cock. All right. Now, I think we've got someone who has got in touch. I've just got a feeling. You know how I get me feelings? Let's have a listen.
Hi, Kitty. It's Sylvia here from Scotland. I do spoken word and been listening to your podcast. I think it's great. And I want to send you a bit inspired by my true life experience. Okay. There's a disgusting smell on the train today. Halitosis or farts, who can say? There's an old white man in his city suit. His belly hanging out, he thinks he's cute. Red wine lips and bleeding gum. The aroma begs the question, which one? Is it your breath or your bum? Which one? Breath or bum? Which one? Is the smell coming from your mouth or your anus? Either way, it's heinous. Can't you afford a cab? Why are you on the train anyway? You dirty bastard, stop looking at me like that. I'll stab you, I will. Stop looking at her like that, you dirty bastard. And that's a little piece I call breath or bum. Thanks, Kitty. Keep up the good work, hen.
Wow. Okay. I don't know if you caught the first few seconds of that. I think they said their name was Sylvia. Bloody hell, Sylvia. I'm blown away, actually. I'm actually lost for words. So you do spoken word. I love that. Rhyming anus with heinous. Who would have bloody thought? Don't say we don't give you out here on Calling Kitty. That was astonishing and so much to unpack there, isn't there, gang? So I think we've all been, especially if you're sort of female or female identifying, perhaps even if you're male identifying, we've all been on public transport when there's just tension, isn't there? There's tension, there's maybe a smell. Are we identifying that smell? Are we tracing that smell back to its origins, back to its owner? And you have to ask yourself the question, breath or bum? I mean, it's a good question, isn't it? We'll never know. I mean, maybe a bit of both. That's what I'm thinking. Do you know what I love about this, Sylvia? I love that you've been moved to put your experiences, like you say, your life experiences, and you've put quill to parchment, you've put pen to paper, you've put digits to keyboard, and you've written that And I feel that's quite cathartic, isn't it, Sylvia? And, you put that out into the world. And I love the music at the back. It's sort of poignant, isn't it? But I'm sure this is most people's experience every day, being on public transport and with somebody who is just abandoned deodorant and is leering slightly. So you've got that jeopardy in the air as well, haven't you? The slight threat of violence, that slight threat of intimidation. But something tells me that if I was on a train with you and I was getting weird looks from some weird bloke, I'd feel quite safe, Sylvia. Do you know what I mean? I feel like you probably carry a small penknife around with you. Do you know? Not making any assumptions, Treasure, but there's something. I just feel like I'd be safe in your carriage. Do you know what I mean? That was brilliant. Let us know where we can find more of your work, and please do send in more of your work. We love it. We absolutely love it. And if anybody out there is working on stuff, we're all artists. People think you need to be, have your work hung in galleries or being broadcast somewhere. But actually, every decision we make is an artistic one. All right. How we do our hair. And I like to do my hair like this. It is a work of art, let's face it. What clothes we choose to put on, the energy that we bring when we walk into a room, it's all art. We're all artists. All right. And that is from me. I'm just a beautician. From Charlie, what the bloody hell do I know? But I feel it in my bones, in my bone marrow. Sylvia, that was brilliant. And I love it. And if we have managed to kind of help you process that event in any way, that let us know, and hopefully we have. And I'm tempted to just find out what train it is and what time it was, just so I can be there next time. We could almost have like an immersive kind of flash mob poetry slam spoken word session, couldn't we? Let's do it. Let's get a meeting point and let's do it. That was bloody brilliant, Sylvia. Let me give you a little, for the ASMR perverts out there as well, a round of applause for that. That was brilliant. Thank you, Treasure. And if you've got anything that you want to send, just DM me. It's me, Kitty, HIYAITSMEKI2TY. And I'm very available. I'm probably too available. That's what our Dave says. You're too available, Kitty. But I'm out there. I'm just out there, and I'm wanting to mix with people and vibe with people. All right. Listen, I hope you've enjoyed this little whatever it was. Who knows what it is? I don't bloody know. We just want to pop into your inbox every Thursday morning, or sometimes afternoon. Sometimes it's a Friday. Who knows? Just to shine a little bit of light into your ears. And if you're watching this on YouTube, into your eyes. If you're watching this on YouTube, yeah, you. I'm making direct eye contact with you now. I hope you have a great day. Go out there, live your life, all right? From the bottom of my colonic to the tips of my acrylics. I've been Kitty Cassis, and this has been Calling Kitty. See you next time, treasures. Ta-ra!
Like, follow, subscribe, sign your life savings over to Calling Kitty. Available on all the podcast platforms.